Most of us have seen one, maybe tucked away in a dusty box in the attic or pressed between the pages of an old family Bible. A baptism certificate. On the surface it seems simple enough, a piece of paper from a church, with your name, the date, and the location where you were baptized. It's a religious memento, a keepsake to mark a spiritual milestone. For generations, that is all people thought it was. But what if this humble certificate holds a power that has been hidden in plain sight for centuries? What if it is not just a record of a spiritual event, but a key that unlocks a completely different kind of freedom? We are taught to see the world in neat little boxes. There is the government box, the religious box, the family box, and the work box. The truth is, these systems are not as separate as they seem. They are deeply interconnected, and the documents they issue are far more significant than we have been led to believe. To understand the power of your baptism certificate, you must first grasp a fundamental concept. There are two versions of you operating in the world. The first version is the real, living, breathing you, the man or woman of flesh and blood watching this right now. This is the living soul that thinks, feels, and acts in the physical world. Then there is the second version of you. This is a legal fiction, a person created by the state. This version of you came into existence when your parents registered your birth. This person has your name, but it is written in all capital letters, John Henry Doe, instead of John Henry Doe. This is not a mistake. Your baptism certificate stands in direct opposition to the state's birth certificate. While the birth certificate registers your fictional corporate person with the state, the baptism certificate registers your living, breathing soul with the church. When you were born, an event of immense personal and spiritual significance occurred. However, the state was not interested in the miracle of your birth. It was interested in creating an asset. This entity, the strawman, was then pledged as collateral to the national debt. You, the living being, became the surety for this corporate fiction. From that moment on, whenever you are asked for your name in a legal or official capacity, you are presumed to be acting as the trustee for this corporate entity, binding the living you to its obligations and debts. You are trapped in a web of commercial law, treated as a corporate franchise instead of a free man or woman. This is the hidden trick of the entire legal system. Just as the birth certificate is the foundation of your bondage to the corporate state, the baptism certificate is the foundation of your freedom. The act of baptism is a powerful spiritual ceremony, but its legal implications are even more profound. When you are baptized, you are symbolically reborn. You die to the old world and are resurrected into a new one. This rebirthing is recorded on your baptism certificate. This document, signed by a minister of an established church, serves as an official public declaration of your status as a living man or woman. The water of baptism symbolically washes away the ink of the state's contracts. A piece of paper with ink on it is destroyed by water, but a living man is merely washed clean. The phrase separation of church and state is something we hear all the time. We are told it means that religion has no place in government. But what if the true meaning is the other way around? This is precisely what the baptism certificate allows you to do. It is your personal declaration of independence. By presenting your baptism certificate, you are officially notifying them that you are not that person. You are separating yourself from the legal entity they are trying to prosecute. At that moment, the state court's authority over you begins to crumble, because their jurisdiction is limited to the fictions they create and control. Once you understand that your baptism makes you a citizen of a foreign sovereign power, a powerful new status becomes available to you, that of an ambassador. An ambassador is a diplomatic representative of the highest rank, sent by one sovereign power to another. The United States Constitution itself, in Article 3, Section 2, specifically grants federal courts jurisdiction over cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls. By presenting your baptism certificate, you are claiming your status as a citizen of that ancient sovereign power. You are, in essence, an ambassador from the kingdom of God to the corporate United States. A local police officer or a county court judge has no authority to arrest, detain, or pass judgment on a foreign ambassador. Their jurisdiction is limited to the citizens and corporations of their own state. Most courts we encounter, traffic courts, family courts, county courts, are not the courts described in Article 3 of the Constitution. They are legislative courts designed to deal with corporate fictions, like your straw man. Article 3 courts, on the other hand, are constitutional courts. These are the true courts of the land, established by the Constitution itself. They operate under common law, not commercial law. A corporate fiction cannot appear in an Article 3 court. A lawyer, who is an officer of a corporate court system, cannot practice in a true Article 3 court. These courts are for living men and women to settle disputes. By using your baptism certificate to prove you are a living citizen of a foreign power, you gain access to this higher court. You force the system to play by its own highest rules. So what should you do if this information resonates with you? First, you must obtain your baptism certificate. If you have the original, keep it safe. If not, contact the church where you were baptized. Second, begin to study. Learn the difference between a living man and a fictional person. Read the definition of an ambassador. Study Article 3 of the Constitution. Finally, be prepared to stand your ground. The next time you are challenged by the system, do not argue the facts. Challenge the jurisdiction. Calmly present your proof. This is not about being a sovereign citizen in the way the media portrays it. It is about being a Roman citizen, an ambassador, with all the rights and immunities that come with that status. This is your inheritance. It is time to claim it.